if you follow me, what we're going to do now is we're going to cover up the cacao beans so that they can begin their process of what's called anaerobic fermentation. Now, there are two phases to fermenting cacao. One is anaerobic and one is aerobic. Anaerobic obviously means without oxygen. As I described before, this is when sugar that's in the pulp of the cacao combines with yeast that's in the air all around us. We're constantly breathing in yeast spores as we breathe. The yeast falls on that, and if we put it in this box and don't allow air to get in there, as with all alcoholic fermentation for any product anywhere in the world, yeast and sugar combine in the presence, in the absence of oxygen to create alcohol. So, what we're going to do now, we've got these two boxes that are full of cacao beans that are covered in a mixture of water and sugar and various other minerals and things. So we're going to cover them now with these jute bags. Now, in many parts of the world, what we're doing here is done in a hole dug in the ground that's lined with banana leaves, and they're covered with banana leaves. And that can work, but we have a better alternative using modern technologies. What we do is we use jute bags, which coincidentally are what cacao is exported in. Why do we use jute bags? Because they're food-grade jute. And food-grade jute means they're not made with any hydrocarbons, any contaminants, anything that could possibly flavor or harm the aroma of the beans. So we're covering the beans now with food-grade jute bags. The same bags, although we would use obviously a newer bag that's imprinted, that we use to export the cacao. And so we're going to cover these beans up. Now, it's important to note, if you come a little closer, you can see it's important to note that we have the boxes completely enclosed, and with these jute bags, we're kind of tucking them in around the edges of the cacao so that air does not easily enter into the cacao to interrupt the process of anaerobic fermentation. We're going to want these beans to get air in a couple of days because the aerobic process or phase of fermentation requires oxygen, but now we don't want them. And now finally what we're going to do is we're going to cover these up with a plywood cover. That does several things. First of all, it's a special type of plywood. It's called phenolic plywood. It's not made with formaldehyde, so it doesn't emit gases that can flavor the beans. The point is, we make every effort to cover every detail when it comes to keeping these beans absolutely as good as they can be. We use this so that the bees can't get in there, so that any other insects, bugs, anything like that can't get in there. Atmospheric contaminants can't get in there. And it helps maintain the heat that will be developed in the coming days. So it's a matter of purity, of cleanliness, and a matter of creating the most efficient fermentation process that it's possible to create.